What's going on, everybody? This is your girl. And guess what? You know that we have been focused on productivity and being efficient. I had the opportunity to go down to Miami for the National Association of Realtors IOI Summit. And baby, they brought the heat. All of all of these prop tech companies that are designed to help us as real estate professionals be more efficient. Some of you already know that because of artificial intelligence, I have been able to increase my productivity by 261% and my earnings by 283%. And so we were back in the green room, and here comes these two handsome gentlemen from Highnote. We have today with us Mark Choey and we have Randy Tobbe. They lit the stage up and they were talking my love language. How you guys doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
How
Fantastic.
are you?
I'm doing awesome. You know what? As I was listening to your bio, sitting on the side of the stage, I realized number two in condo sales, right? And I love the fact that you have a background in AI, but I also love the fact that you've been able to pivot and navigate even in uncertain times. Tell us how you got into the prop tech space with your company, highnote.io. But I want to go back to the beginning because
Yeah.
you've definitely overcome some hurdles and some obstacles.
Oh my God, this is taking us back in the day. All right, let me tell you, I was an engineer and I still am. I studied electrical engineering and computer engineering. I got my master's degree from CU Boulder, where Coach Prime is right now, changing the industry, changing the landscape of college football. I love him. I love what he's doing for those kids and that university. Anyway, I studied AI back in the 90s when
In the
AI
90s.
in the 90s, 97.
Oh,
97. I
most
was
people
learning
don't
neural
even know it
networks.
existed.
Yes, I was learning how to trade stocks with neural nets back in the
Oh.
day. Back in the day. And of course, the segue from that to a real estate agent is very obvious. But
It is?
I became a real estate agent. This is what happened. I went to an open house in San Francisco. I just moved to San Francisco with my wife, and we were like going to start a new world, a new life. We just got married. I moved from New York City. I grew up in Teaneck, New Jersey. Okay. And it's a very mixed town, mixed race, half black, half Jewish, white, etc. Grew up in a very, very privileged, and I'm just so glad to be from that neighborhood because I saw a lot. I saw a lot. I grew up with a lot of different people. We moved to San Francisco. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go buy some investment property. Real estate's booming. This was back in 2006. I met an agent. We became friends. He helps me buy a bunch of condos, a bunch of investment properties. He tells me, all right, by the way, his name is Chris Lim. He's the president of Christie's today. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This boy is a mad genius. He's a sales and marketing genius. He built Climb Real Estate with me. Now, let me tell you what happened. We became friends. After about a year, or like 6 months or so, he goes, hey, you know what? You should be a real estate agent. And I said, what? That's what I have you for. You're my real estate agent. But I said, all right, well, let me get my license. Maybe it'll help me get deals because I was looking to invest. So I got my license, and then guess what? I joined Keller Williams, and I learned, I read the Red Book.
Ooh, the millionaire real estate agent.
It's a classic. It's a classic. It still works to this day.
It does.
Right? And I learned, I said, hey, you know what? Being a real estate agent is hard. You break your leg, you get sick. Who's going to bring, you don't have a pension. You don't have any income. This is completely commission driven. I said, Chris, why did you get me into this business? This is the dumbest business, hardest business on earth. But guess what? It's the most lucrative. I've never met a business where you could get started and make so much income so quickly just from doing some simple things.
Consistently.
What's that?
Consistently. My son is 27. He says this is a job of doing boring things consistently.
That's right. And this is now the time, during this slow time where you really need to be consistent with your stuff. And we're going to get into that. But anyway, so I get into the business. I learned real estate and I joined Keller Williams, and I said to him, hey, you know what? We need to start a brokerage. We need to start a brokerage. And around 2009 is when we started our brokerage. And if you remember 2009, it's the Great Recession.
Yes.
Nobody would ever in their right mind start or get into real estate during this time, okay? Except us. Why? Why did we do that? We're like, when everyone is retreating, everyone's cutting back on marketing, everyone's closing up office space, everyone is retreating and trying to shrink and get through the time. This is the time where you need to be bold and smart and double down. You need to double down. You need to really, really take market share at this time. Like now.
Oh, you're talking my love language. I love it. I'm 100% in agreement. Okay.
Fast forward a little bit. So the 2009, we're taking market share. People were closing brokerages. People were stopped advertising in magazines. People, Truly and Zillow they just started coming on the scene. They started cutting back, right? So then we said, okay, let's buy. Time to buy, right? Be courageous, be bold during this time. Why? Because like I said earlier, there's certain secrets in real estate that if you apply consistently, they're not secrets, right? They are formulas to success. And one of those formulas is marketing, right? It's presentation, it's marketing, and it's presentation, okay? Real estate agents need to look good. You need to be professional. You need to present, and you need to do consistent marketing all the time. I used to always tell our agents, we had about 250 agents. We grew Climb to $1 billion in sales. I became the #2 condo agent in San Francisco. I could never beat the #1 guy. His name was Greg Lynn. He was a beast. I could not beat him. He did 4 seasons, ultra luxury, $5 million, $6 million listings. I was doing $3 million listings. So every one I did was half of his sales. I love him to death. He's one of the best agents ever. I was #2. I'll take it. And we built our brokerage. We developed these great listing presentations. We call them a listing presentation package. It's what we sell with Highnote now. It's a pre-listing and a follow-up listing presentation, guaranteed to win listings. We developed this over a decade, thousands of listings won, $5 billion in sales achieved with it. We grew Climb Real Estate into a hot, sexy brokerage. Realogy bought us. And they announced they were going to franchise us nationwide to be their urban brand. Fast forward, it didn't happen. That's fine. But that's what happened with Climb. We grew, we found the formula of success. And
I remember when they bought you. Like, I remember this in the media, everything. I didn't put all that together, but I 100% remember now. Okay.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. Oh.
Yeah. But listen, so, you asked me a question, how did I get involved with this? So Climb was super tech forward. Why? Because there was an engineer in the background there building the systems and building the things. And when I sold Climb, we're like, gee, I really got to figure out what I want to do. I'm going to do prop tech, obviously. And
None
why?
of this is obvious. It might be obvious to you. Not a
Yeah.
move you've made is an obvious move to me. Okay. Okay. So we got the engineer. We know we built this sexy company. We sell it to Realogy, probably the largest real estate stakeholder in the world, right? Or real estate company stakeholder. And then you instantly think, kind of like NAR thinks, right? We're going to go into the prop tech space.
That's right.
Okay.
So we built Highnote. And I said, what is the number one problem every real estate agent has, right? It's leads, listings, winning listings, right? And I said, what is the most crucial moment in every real estate agent's day? You know what it is? When you get a lead, a listing lead, and he says, I want to sell my home. I want to interview you. You have 1 hour, less than an hour to respond, right? That's what everyone says. If you don't respond within an hour, the probability of winning that lead drops precipitously. If you take 24 hours to respond, forget it. Why? Because they're interviewing other agents. You need to be the first to respond, and you need to respond with something good. Good.
Don't just
And
respond. Respond with
yeah.
something good. Okay.
Yeah. Right?
Now,
what are you going to write? And then so
think-
at Climb, we're like, hey, it's about presentation. You are a marketing professional. You need to wear your best suit all the time. You need to drive a nice car all the time. It's got to be clean. You need to look good. So we hired all these graphic designers to build presentations. Well, guess what? That's not scalable. It's not scalable. You can't do it for hundreds and hundreds of agents. So I built Highnote. Highnote is an easy to use deal winner. How? We build amazing presentations just by dragging and dropping your materials in. We wrap it up, make it look beautiful, deliver it like a gift. The gift wins deals. It wins listings, it wins offers, it helps agents sell properties, it helps them recruit, it helps them do a ton of things. We started this in 2020, and I quickly said, I need someone smart to help me grow this company. And here is this good-looking man right here, Randy Tobbe, who has joined me to help me do this.
Because I'm like, well, where does Randy come in, right? Now I know where Randy comes in. Randy came in to help you grow the company. Now, there's a couple of things you said that kind of stood out. One, it's a deal winner. Two, always present as your best self. And through using Highnote, you're presenting them with a gift, right? And right now, when people don't feel like it, it is still that time to get up and look good. When you guys met me in Miami, right? I was like, I'm going to bring Miami to Miami. So I had on a full glitter gown, right? With a split up the side and a matching blazer.
I remember. And you had those cool white glasses.
So I said to myself, if we're going, like, we're going to do some prime time, right? You know, he talks about it. If you feel good, you look good. If you look good, you sell good, right? So I had him in the back of my mind, even then. And I said, one, I understand who the competition is and who's going to be here. Let me package this as a gift. And so you guys were at IOI Summit. You presented Highnote. How is Highnote going to, and you kind of broke it down. What are some of the specialties, additional benefits inside a Highnote that makes that realtor stand out and present as a gift?
There are three things that Highnote provides the agent, right? One, we have millions of stock images all built into the tool. So you can drag a beautiful image from our library and put it on top of your presentation. And this is what instantly transforms your presentation. Number one. Number two, it's so easy to use. If you can drag and drop, you can build a presentation. You know what? Agents don't need PowerPoint. They don't need to be building presentations from scratch every single time. They have existing materials. You already have a website. You have a listing presentation that hasn't been updated in 2 years. You have comps, you have contracts, you have all kinds of stuff. Drag and drop that stuff in, put it in a nice box, a gift box, wrap it up, right? And that's what Highnote does. The third thing is we give you notifications as to what's being read, when, and how long. So when you send this beautiful gift, the Highnote gift, to a seller lead, guess what happens when you do it with email? Did they open it? I don't know. Do you know? No. What do they read? I don't know. Do you know? No. You sent 15 attachments, maybe 5, maybe I'm exaggerating, but 6 attachments with a bunch of links. What did they click on? Do you know? No. Guess what? If you send with Highnote, we tell you. They read the listing agreement. They read your testimonials. They looked at your Matterport videos because they want to see how you market their properties. They want to understand how the process works. They looked at your website. They looked at your video. We tell you all that stuff. Not only that, we also tell you what they didn't look at, right? This is the beauty of Highnote. It's a very simple way to transform the selling process for real estate agents. And it's something that we tried to do for our agents at Climb by throwing humans at it. And I said, look, we need software for this. And it's got to be so easy that the agent can use it. Agents do. They use it over and over again. They just make copies of their old presentations, quick customization, send it off. Keep doing it. And then they send it off and they're winning listings. They're also using it to send offers, believe it or not. And I was like, why would you send an offer with Highnote? And I understood after, because they're presenting their buyer's offer. Hey, this is my buyer's offer. We love your home. They love your home. We are committed to buying your home. And guess what? They're qualified. They're financially qualified. And guess what? I'm a professional and I'm going to make sure that this happens. I'm going to make sure all contingencies are removed. I'm going to make sure that we have a smooth escrow and contract process. And I'm going to make sure this gets done. You're selling. You as a buyer agent are selling to the listing agent and the seller, and you're trying to sell your buyer's offer. So there's using Highnote to build offers. I was shocked when that happened. And I was like, wow, there's a business. And there's a need.
A couple of things happened this week. I was in Mississippi and I conducted 3 2-hour CE courses. One of those courses was I've Got Houses for Sale. Based on the climate of real estate today, a lot of agents, they have buyers that are sitting on the bench. And something we're going to have to implement moving forward, in addition to a exclusive buyer representation agreement, we need to start thinking about an offer of compensation. So in this class, I said, I want to solicit listings, but not with the purpose of listing the property, with the purpose of pairing one of my pre-approved buyers. And what else happened with this is that this week, Fannie Mae came out with a 5% down multifamily purchase option. I said, and so I'm going to do a Facebook Live video, attract all of these buyers, and then go and solicit multifamily listings to meet my pre-approved buyer needs. Where Highnote comes into that is I did with artificial intelligence, ChatGPT. I tell every realtor, if you want to earn a minimum of a 6-figure income, you need to put out 32,000 words of content every single month, 1,000 words per day. So I went over to ChatGPT. I wrote one 500-word message, and then I converted it to Spanish because the Latino market is the fastest growing real estate market. What I'm hearing you say with Highnote, when I am soliciting all of these sellers that I really only want to do a for sale by owner with compensation agreement, because I want to get all of my buyers off the bench. I want to get them off the bench and I don't want to create competition for them. That Highnote would be that perfect presentation for my ready, willing, able, pre-approved buyers who have this special new Fannie Mae 5% down program. And all I was going to do in my mind was send them this nice letter. I could actually send them this beautiful, eye-catching presentation that is a gift, because maybe they have a high vacancy. Maybe they're not getting market rate rent. So when doing the offer, I'm thinking of another way to present it to anybody in the situation, right? Even whether residential and or commercial.
Absolutely. And here's the beauty of the tool is that in the past, you never would think about building a presentation for that kind of thing. Why? Because it's too hard. How are you going to build a presentation in PowerPoint? Do you need, it's like kind of overkill a little bit, but with Highnote, it's easy. You just drop it in, put a picture in, make it look pretty, and send that. Now, you should do that in addition to your letter, right? You should do both. Why? Because you want to stand out. Mark, when I noticed you at Miami, one thing I noticed is that you stood out to me. You had the beautiful outfit. You had the great white glasses, right? No one's going to forget that. And guess what? In real estate, you need to stand out. This is another secret of the industry. It's not even a secret. It's a basic thing. There are so many real estate agents out there in every neighborhood. You need to stand out all the time. Highnote does that, right? Highnote does that. So we built a tool that lets you do that. Stand out quickly. You want to send these offers with your pre-approved? Great. But you should be professional too, right? You could send a professional landing page, a professional Highnote. That's what Highnote is. It's essentially a landing page, a web page.
Well,
right?
why you didn't say that in the first place?
Yeah, I should have.
So let me ask you this question. Because it is essentially a landing page, when we set these presentations up, essentially I could do community presentations.
Absolutely.
Like this week, when I do my Facebook Live video, I want to get them over to a landing page and I want to deliver to them the information about the 5% down Fannie Mae product, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the lead gen. So I can present beautifully and then repurpose it as a landing page. It's already a landing page to generate future leads.
Absolutely.
Oh,
we also
awesome.
have, guess what? We have ChatGPT built in so that you could just say, hey, I want to write about my 5% thing. Help me fill out the rest and make it professional. Click a button, we give you the text, right?
So landing pages with essentially generative AI built into it that allows me to stand out professionally, quickly, and give a gift.
That's right. And it has lead capture. So you can require someone to put an email in or phone number before reading it, right? So like, hey, enter your information. You can see this information. Or after. We also have a contact form that you can put after. So any way you want. It's designed for the real estate agent, and it's simple, super simple, and it's going to up your business. And now is the time. It's slow now, y'all. It's slow. Don't be slow though, right? Use this time to upgrade yourself, your marketing, your presentation, because that's the foundation of every real estate agent, of every great real estate agent. It's marketing and presentation, marketing and presentation.
I love that. Now, Randy, I have a question. So you know how to grow companies, right? What would be the 3 things that you think a real estate professional should do first when leveraging Highnote? Let's say they don't have any listings, right? How do they leverage this tool to get listings? How do they leverage the tool to get buyers? How do they leverage the tool to get tenants?
Well, first of all, I mean, the easiest way to win is just be 1% better than everybody else, right? You ain't gotta be doing a million different things. You just gotta be a little bit better than everybody else, right? So let's just kind of look at some of the dynamics. So right now, listings are not as much as they used to be, right? We just don't have the inventory that we did, right? The vast majority of your competition, and you can look at the numbers, right? We were at like the peak as far as the amount of real estate agents that, were licensed. And now there's a lot of people that were doing it part-time that are letting that go, which is okay. Now is the time to grab opportunity or market share, I should say, right? So one thing that you want to do is you want to be consistent. And when people think real estate, they're no longer going to go to their auntie that was doing this part-time. They want to go to somebody that is out there, right? So first thing first is, well, how do you get in front of these people? Number one, you do have a database, right? So you can build a Highnote that's just about you. And you put your little blurb about you, and you could put a little video in there. And you could put some PDFs of what's going on with the current market. You could put what you're talking about the 5% down, and you can start going to your database, right? Being consistent, putting that video in front of them, right? The more video you can put in front of them, the better. So you're just getting in front of them more so. The next thing is you could start mailing. I think utilizing modern technology, doing a 6x6 campaign in a subdivision, right? COVID-19 naturalized the use of QR codes, right? So you can send them a little thing. People now just with their camera, scan it, boom, it opens a Highnote. And again, way
Back
better
to basics, y'all.
Way better than
Right.
just call me. The next thing is you want to convert more leads. You're still buying leads, Zillow, Realtor.com, wherever. So the vast majority of the leads that are coming in, what do people do? They put them on some generic drip campaign like, hey, thanks for reaching out to me via Zillow, blah, 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 blah. Well, them and about 6 other people are sending them the exact same text message. You want to stand out, convert leads, create a Highnote, introducing yourself, introducing your service, introducing your areas of expertise. And when you do send that text message, be like, hey, got your information from Zillow. Here's everything that you're going to need to know about me, buying your house, right? What's going on with the market. They click that link. They watch a video of you, right? Just introducing yourself. They start seeing all this other information. Again, you're better than the people that just sent a text message. You're definitely better than somebody that responded to that lead 24 hours later, right? The next thing is when you do get that call, and you will with consistent actions here, right? Send them the pre-listing presentation. So you send them the presentation before you even show up. This isn't your actual listing presentation. This is about me. I'm a father. I'm a real estate agent. I do this. I live in this community. I do this. You want to warm them up, right? Get them to know you. And I'm going to give you an example. One of our clients told me this story just recently. They had a listing appointment. They got a call. It was some kind of a referral. And they were the third person that the homeowner had called. So she went ahead and she sent a Highnote. She talked about herself, being involved with the school, the areas, she had a bunch of her past deals, how she markets, etc. She sent that 2 days before she actually had to meet. She shows up to the front door of the house, and that's an awkward time, right? Like you don't really know the person. The husband and wife are standing at the door. The wife came up and gave her a hug, right? First good sign. The next thing is they said, hey, listen, I'm not going to mention this person's name. Hey, listen, we've already decided to go with you, but we still are going to honor the 2 appointments that we had scheduled before you. Our client asked, well, why? The first person just sent a calendar confirmation, right, about their appointment to talk about their house. The other agent had their assistant call and say, so-and-so is going to show up at this time. They'll go over everything there. Our client was the only one that sent the pre-listing presentation with the video, with all the other information. So they already felt like they knew her, right? They already felt that she was going to be
because of the video.
Like Marky, right? You and I've seen each other on video multiple times over the years. And when we finally see each other, it's like, hey, how you doing? Right? It wasn't awkwardness.
No,
right?
It wasn't.
So by incorporating these techniques will allow you to stand out. And again, if you think about, there's seven stages in a sales cycle, in all sales cycles. It doesn't matter. Real estate, there's a nurture process, there's a prospecting process, there's a qualification process. Every sales cycle follows this 7. You want to interject a Highnote at every stage because that will allow you to stand out from the rest of the people, right? And you said you like utilizing technology to save you time and be efficient. The vast majority of these are evergreen, which means once you create it one time, you can reuse it again and again and again and again and again. And if you want to make some tweaks, you can, right? So we want to talk about being able to put more good, more value out into the world, right? You make one of these, not to mention we already have like 75 templates to choose from, make it your own, and you can start doing that. Like that's what really needs to happen right now. In terms of like making yourself stand out from the rest of the competition. And
absolutely. Let me chime in here. You know, he's saying a lot of great things here. It's back to basics, right? Contacting your sphere, right? Following up with your old buyers who are now homeowners. Do an annual real estate review. Do a review of their home every year. Send them something. Say, hey, it's been a year. It's been 2 years. It's been 3 years. It's been 4 years. It's been 5 years. Don't be forgotten. Don't be a statistic, as I like to say. Don't get forgotten, right? Always be in front. And it's about client relationships, lifelong client relationships. Now, this pre-listing I want to talk about and a follow-up listing presentation. We developed this at Klein Real Estate for our agents. And the idea is every sales cycle is similar, whether you're selling solar, whether you're selling or real estate, or you're selling anything, right? You're going to have an in-person meeting. You're going to check out their home. Well, guess what? You should send something before you meet, right? Set up the meeting for success. So the pre-listing, that's what the pre-listing's about. And don't do this, guys. Don't send the value of the home in your pre-listing. You haven't even seen the home yet. You don't even know what the seller thinks their home is worth. And you know they think it's worth much more than what the market price is all the time. All the time. How many times that happened? Where you send something, your home's worth $550,000. They think it's worth $650,000. And guess what? You already shot yourself in the foot. So don't send it in the pre-listing, okay? Pre-listing's about you, okay? It's about you as the professional, who you are. Give them confidence as to who you are, who they're about to meet. Get those preliminaries out of the way. You send a beautiful pre-listing presentation. We developed this. It's proven science, sales science. We've sold $5 billion worth of listings with it, thousands of listings. A lot of agents use this nationwide. We can help you build these two, personalized one, Highnote for you. Now, you send a pre-listing. A lot of agents say that they win listings before showing up, just like Randy said. Many of them. One agent said that when they showed up at the listing, they had their listing agreement all printed out. He's like, I've never had that happen to me before, ever. Another agent said that they canceled the other agent's appointments after they got my pre-listing, and they spent 2.5 hours reading his listing presentation. That's the power of Highnote. Now, you send a pre-listing. You set it up, you set yourself up nice for a great in-person meeting. You walk the home and you understand the seller's needs. What are they looking to do, right? They're obviously trying to sell for the highest price possible, right? But when? Why are they selling? Understand this stuff. Now, go over the home. They want to know what you think the value of the home is. Don't say anything yet. Go back home, do your homework, do the comps, make sure you understand the market, what's on the market, what's in contract, what's sold, but also what's coming on market, right? You're an agent. You need to know the real estate market better than anyone. Go back to your homework, ask your colleagues, understand what's going on in your brokerage, what's going on. Now, you deliver another presentation after. It's called the follow-up listing presentation. It's how you close it. What do you follow up with? You don't talk about yourself anymore. You talk about their needs. And their needs are, what's the value of my home? And how are you, Mr. or Mrs. Agent, going to get the highest value for the home? What are you going to do to make sure it's positioned for the maximum sale, right? 9 out of 10 sellers want the highest price. Sometimes they want the fastest sale, but very rarely they want the highest price, right? And you can't just tell them the market price. Your home's worth $550, and anyone could. That's the average, and anyone could get that price. You got to say how you're going to get $575. How are you going to get $590 for it? How do you outperform the market? This is where the follow-up presentation comes in. These are the techniques I'm going to use to make sure the highest and best price will be extracted when I sell your home. And that's what you do with the follow-up presentation. This technique, we call it the 1-2 punch. We call it the sandwiching the book, or bookmarking the listing presentation with two of them. And why do you do two? Because you can now with Highnote. It's easy to build. Not only that, are your agent competitors doing the same thing? I doubt it. So you got to stand out. Be like Marky, stand out, be different. You got to be different. If you're like everyone else, then what's the difference? Then they'll just pick anyone.
Mark?
Randy, you said the 1% I'm hearing consistently, but what you also said, a couple of other things that I think real estate professionals should take heed to. They need something like a Calendly to remind that person that they're still going to meet. And the other person had someone to call to reconfirm. So they did all of that. Essentially, right? And she sent the presentation. No one else is doing that. That means that would be your unique selling proposition. So I'm hearing not only do I need Highnote, we need to also send a confirmation email, which if you use one of the calendar tools, will send that for you. It'll send it 3 hours in advance, 1 hour in advance. So some automation in that process. When, as a speaker, I send like an initial letter. And then I send a before the event letter on like my bio and confirming how they should pronounce my name. And then I send them an aftercare letter, right? A couple of things that you said. Yeah, right. But if I sent it, packaged it and put it as a gift, right? I'm not doing it as a gift. I need to package it and do it as a gift. Wow. So that it was a lot of nuggets, right? Just based on your real estate experience that goes into Highnote. I really appreciate that because
absolutely. And some people might be like, well, this is kind of overkill, isn't it? No,
it's 1% better.
Yeah. And guess what? How much is a listing worth to you?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Marky.
Yes.
So here's a strategy. Just thinking off the top of my head. You're Chicago, right? Well, we know what's coming. We know what's coming in the next couple months, right? We know in Detroit, Chicago, what do people in their 60s and 70s start thinking right around now? They start thinking about Florida. They start thinking about the Carolinas and Tennessee, right?
Yes, warmer weather.
You want to talk about a campaign that would probably crush right now. You can do this right now in the MLS. You can pull people, you can get age, right? You start hitting those people with postcards, right? Escape the cold, 62, 63, 64. You start hitting it, right? Maybe towards the tail end of the summer, right? You build out a Highnote that has all of your stuff about Florida, all of your stuff about Georgia, all your stuff about Tennessee, the Carolinas, and maybe Arizona. You know how to build a network of agents in other states, right? And you can say, I am the Chicago moving expert. Not only can you list with me, but I also got connects in all the hottest places where people go to either vacation or retire. So you don't have to worry about, I need to now find an agent in Florida or an agent in Atlanta, right? I've got the one-stop shop. So when people scan that QR code or they click that link, however you're going out to them, now you have Highnotes built out around Florida, right? Because they get the first one, they just pick on which tab, which state, and then boom, it opens up to another Highnote that goes deep about your expertise and your partnership inside of those states. It would crush Chicago, Cincy, anywhere in the Midwest, anywhere where it gets cold, right? Where we've had enough.
And when we look at the Redfin migration map, it is showing me that how should people leave Chicago and where they're going, right? Yeah. So I know they're going to the west coast of Florida. Now, if I was to come back with the program that I mentioned earlier, what I would now do is look for people in that age bracket with 2 to 4 unit buildings who might also want to escape the possibilities of managing that property, shoveling the snow, putting ice out, make this your last one, and sell here and get a referral. And Highnote can do all of that. Where does a realtor go in order to gain access to Highnote?
Just go to highnote.io and highnote.io, highnote.io, get a free trial. Now, we also have a new service where we could personalize this winning listing presentation package that we built from scratch, the pre-listing and the follow-up listing. It's called Done For You service. It's $5.99 to build both of them. You're going to be winning listings with this. And now, in this type of market where listings are fewer, guess what? These leads are even more valuable now. You got to convert these leads, and you can't leave it to chance. You cannot leave it to chance. Don't be lazy and just send an email full of attachments. Build a presentation. Convert that lead. That lead is gold now. That lead is more than gold, right? Listings are going to be fewer for a while. You got to be upping your game. Upping your game. And that's where Highnote comes in.
And remember, listings might be less, but competition is also less, right?
Yes, it is. That's
so keep that in mind. Like,
wow. Everybody, I want you to go over to highnote.io. Go over to highnote.io. I want to thank today Mark and Randy for dropping nuggets on what you can implement today. Do that additional 1% so that you will be the person who is still around in the future. See you guys soon.